What we have here are two Acacia Davyi seedlings that were started about a year ago. These are small shrub-like acacias that you find in South Africa, Swaziland, and Mozambique. They were difficult to germinate and even more difficult to keep alive when they were younger. So these two are what's remaining after 30 seeds were planted. Different techniques were tried, and these were the only two. We were at a 20 or 30% germination rate, but for whatever reason, the seedlings didn't survive, and we only ended up having two viable samples. It is the middle of winter, and these two aren't growing vigorously, but they have been under lights. I'm going to pull them from the lights now in January so that they can have a more of a natural cycle because they are deciduous. But these have been challenging. I have other acacias planted at the same time that are 3 or 4 feet tall, although skinny and thin. But these ones just have not really taken off, and they've really struggled. These guys specifically have these challenges around their branches grow, and they kind of just crumble. Even in the middle of the summer, you'd have this kind of crumbliness, and I don't think it's any kind of pestilence or pest, but it just has not developed the way I'd hoped. What I'm counting on is that as their roots develop and I can put them in a bigger pot, we'll see some more canopy development and more growth. I'm not going to think of pruning them back at all for quite a while. I want to wait for them to grow up. And some of the cutting I've done is to eliminate dead or dying branches. I have hope. These trees are beautiful when they grow up. They have this incredible textured bark. They have yellow flowers. And they do, in theory, make good bonsai samples. It just hasn't been my experience yet. So I'm going to be delicate with these two. I'm not going to do any drastic movements. I'm going to let them grow out for the next year or two before I start doing anything major. I will be putting them into a bigger pot, but I'm hoping that we see some signs of life as we get closer to the spring and after they have a dormancy period. Maybe that's kind of what's lacking in the process. But some semblance of healthy growth, but it's been far too slow. They have been fertilized, they're in a good draining soil. So some of the mistakes I had from the prior experiments I kind of took out the process and I carried forward some of my learnings, but it's not yielding the results I want. But they are young, and sometimes trees grow slower and then they just take off once they get established, and this could be the case for these ones. So once again, Acacia Davyi species. Two of these are the only ones I have, and we'll see how they turn out the next few years.